But yeah, it's always a tough deal when a championship is on the line.
Oh, very crucial. So
yeah. So your races with Michael Waltrip were fun in the 00?
yeah, at that time it was Rudiman, I think, that I was subbing for. He wasn't much of a road racer. They didn't have points. They needed to get the car in. We were, I think, successful at getting it in. I think we got it in pretty much everywhere. And then in Sonoma, I think it was for Waltrip. I think we finished in, just outside the top 10, 12 or something like that. Had a couple good runs with them. They were just an up-and-coming team at the time, really trying to get their program going, Frankie Kerr and those guys. But yeah, I enjoyed that. It was good. And that was a lot of times, we were known for, being, I grew up oval racing and dirt racing and all that. But I was also known for being a road course specialist at the time. And in the days when we had, 60 cars showing up for 40 spots or 55 or whatever it was, and they need to make sure on those road courses they got it in the race, and it seemed like Morgan. I drove for Morgan McClure a lot on those circumstances, and Michael and Waltrip. It was good. It was fun, and those were pretty much the heyday, I think, of NASCAR.
Yeah, I would say the pinnacle for the sport, in my opinion, was 2006 and 7. I remember those being years where it seemed like everybody had a chance to win, even the underdogs. And you got to remember the road course ringers were competitive at that time. And Boris said almost won Daytona, I think, in the Cup car one year, if I remember right.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but possibility.
I remember seeing a video, by the way, during this Sonoma race on YouTube in 2006 when you drove for the Morgan McClure.
Yeah.
And you did like a series of interviews with a reporter involving the other road racers like Ron Fellows and Boris Said. And I remember you saying, we're here to win just like everybody else. I'm out to get that money and that trophy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, unfortunately, we were always going to teams that, let's just say weren't at their best at the time, whether they didn't have the best pit crew at the time as far as just fastest pit crew, I shouldn't say best, fastest, or the program wasn't, fully funded, or, there was always something where they were struggling, that they were seriously struggling. And that's why they'd call us, say, hey, we need some help. And we need to get our car in the show, and we need to try to run good. This is a good opportunity if we put you in the car. And a lot of times we were able to make that happen. But it was, unfortunately, you would always wanted to try one time where you got placed into the top running team, hey, sit in this car, they've won, 5 races this year and they're ready to go, and see what you could have done, with the fast pit guys and everything that you really needed to get the job done. And, that really never happened, and it never happens really for us road race guys that come in like that. Obviously it doesn't happen anymore, really. I mean, there's very seldom, one-off drivers that come in and drive. They're starting to get a little bit more, with the New Zealanders coming over, and they're getting some opportunities, and Gisbergen and some of these other kids are coming along and getting a little shot here and there, which is good, because that, I think, really opens the doors for them able to progress and do other races.
Yeah. What was your reaction to Shane Van Gisbergen's Chicago win?
I thought it was amazing. I was pulling for him. I thought a guy that could come over, hey, if you watch V8 Supercar, those guys are good. Let's face it, they run a sedan, I don't know how close it is to, what we have over here with NASCAR, but similar. And, for him to come over here, and that was one of the races where you thought, okay, if there's any race on the schedule that he could really shine, this would be it. And they timed it right, and they, obviously the car was good, he was fast, the other guys had never really run on a street circuit, they'd never been there, nobody had any, notes, so everybody was kind of on even territory, and he did it, and that's an amazing accomplishment for a guy like that. And I thought that, and you can see how good he is. He's won a couple push races, or Xfinity races this year, and he's got a lot of talent. And I think there's a lot of guys out there that, with the right opportunities, could be in those similar situations. But there's only so many opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. Marcus Ambrose was a big part of that as well. His wins at Watkins Glen definitely, along with Will Power as well in IndyCar, they seem to have been the ones that led a lot of the Australian talents into the States.
Absolutely, yeah. But we used to go down there when I was, coming up, and I was probably 18, I was 17, 18, 19 years old, and we'd go down in the wintertime, and me and Stan Fox, and we'd go race midgets and sprint cars down there. Midgets down there, I don't race midgets down there, but over in Australia and mostly in New Zealand. And we just had a great time. And those guys were, the talent, you could see the talent pool just getting better and better down there.
It was amazing how Stan Fox recovered from that Indy crash.
Yeah, and we were pretty tight, and he was a great guy, and he did recover, but it's probably in the end is what got him, finally, did him in was that head injury at Indy. And he was never the same Stan Fox, unfortunately. And I'm kind of in the same situation with my brother Paige. Got hurt leading the fourth round at Eldora. Got upside down, and a second place car hit him, and a head injury. And he'll never be the same. He's we call him 60-70%. We got him, and which is important. And he has a great wife and kids, and that's really what's important.
Definitely. So in 2007, you started your tenure with Robbie Gordon pretty much because you got a phone call from him being like, "Hey, I got suspended. Can you drive the 7 for me?" What was that moment like?
Well, there was a lot of Robbie and I have known each other since we were born. Our dads are good friends, so we've known each other in IndyCar together, and hung out together at the river and Parker, and so I was there. I think. Can't remember this. Yeah, that's right. I wasn't. I was living in North Carolina, and I got a call and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And they will get on an airplane. You're headed for wherever it was. Pocono, because Robbie's getting suspended. Or no, I think I was already there. I had been practicing the car the day before. That's what it was. I did practice in qualifying or something like that, and he was going to show up for the race. And obviously I raced the car, but we've had a lot of good adventures together, and that's a guy that could have had a really good team and really been there, and if he could have just found all the funding, and money was tough, and he's a hell of a race car driver, and he has a good mind for racing, and it was unfortunate that he couldn't keep it going.
Yeah, but in the end, look what it turned into, which you also competed in, Stadium Super Trucks.
Stadium Super Trucks. It was a lot of fun when we started that with Rob, and I've never been so high in my life as far as jumping. I always said that Robbie would spend all the money on the takeoff ramps and no money on the landing ramps. But yeah, we were going to, here in Phoenix Stadium and racing there in St. Louis and San Diego and the Coliseum, and that was fun. But I think the series really took off, or really expanded maybe the reach, and got it really excited people at the IndyCar places, and that's where I really liked it better. Racing at Toronto, at Long Beach, those type of places, and
Nashville even.
Nashville, and just racing, sliding the car on the pavement, hitting those ramps at 100 miles an hour and flying as high as a catch fence, going down to Australia and doing that with the V8 supercar, and we just had a really good time doing it, and it was a little hard on the body, but it was a lot of fun, and we had some great races, and some guys came out of that. Sheldon, who's now in Xfinity, he raced over there. Brabham's over there, still running here and there, and I think it was really good. I wish we could have kept it up and grown it, But I know he still runs Long Beach and some of the races, but just doesn't have that full schedule.